This is the second video where I'm going to explain to you how additional books can be used to help learning and understanding the vocabulary, actually the verbs used in Khulud Abdallah's video, where she demonstrated nice examples about learning Arabic, how to start, how to ask help for learning Arabic, and then just watch her video. That's really excellent. And then in her video she used actually 11 verbs in various forms. In this example, for example, the first verb is in a past and in a future tense, and the second is an imperative. And then in my previous video I explained in general term Kullu Tamam is the best book on Arabic grammar. This is not only a textbook to learn from the beginning, but also I regard this as a very good, the best reference book on Egyptian Arabic grammar. And then the main point for this video is the other accompanying book. This is the Big Fat Book of Egyptian Arabic Verbs, and this is coming from the workshop from the Matthew Aldrich, and I highly recommend it. I bought the book in paperback form, but this book is also available from Lingualism to in electronic form either. I prefer the paperback version. So here in this example, these are the 11 words I collected from Khulud's excellent video. So this is a very nice example that when a native Arabic speaker like Khulud, she's really excellent, gives you examples. Of course, as a native speaker, he doesn't really know how much work is expected to be done behind the scenes. So for her, they are simple examples, but actually they are not. The Arabic grammar is not for the faint-hearted, especially not verbs. And these 11 verbs gives a nice example. For example, the first 5 which I included here are from the stem form 1, and then there is one in stem form 2 where the middle consonant is doubled. There are 2 verbs in stem 3 where there is a long alif, long a after the first consonant. And then there are again 2 verbs in stem 5. Stem 5 and a number of other stems starts with it. And then here in stem 5 also, just like in stem 2, the second root consonant is doubled. And then there is one more in stem 8, ibtada, which is another. So if you want to understand the intricacies, the declination, and some of the words are special because these are weak verbs, because there are a long alif, not a strong consonants in the middle, and there is also a verb with a last hamza, which is again a special situation. These are strong words, no problem, but this one in stem 8, this again, the last syllable, this is again a weak verb form, and for their conjugation is tricky. And when you go to the Kullu Tamam, you will learn the basics, the rules, how to form not only the conjugation forms, but also the phonetic intricacies. Egyptian Arabic is just like other dialects, is very delicate pronunciation rules. However, then you took out your Egyptian Arabic verbs book, and then you will have the option to watch and see all the possible conjugation examples of your verbs. For example, here, this is the ibtada from my examples, and then this is the perfect, that is the past tense, both in affirmative, that is positive, as well as in negative version. And what is also important here, that this book gives you a perfect sign, the mark where the stress is going to, which is terribly important, because in Egyptian Arabic the accent, the stress shifts usually towards the end of the word as long as the word is getting to be. And then after the perfect you will have all the 8 version of the imperfect, then you will have the be imperfect, and then the ha imperfect for future, as well as you have also the imperative and the active participle and the passive participle too, and then the verbal noun is also included. So this book, in my opinion, is a brilliant additional material next to Kulum Tamam, and Arabic verbs are the heart of the language. So this book is very useful. So this was the first example. Let's see what else do we have here. Actually, this book has almost 300 verbs. The most important ones are included. And for example, all the 11, these are actually just random verbs from Kholoud's video, but all of the verbs were included in this book. So that's why I decided to give you an explanation. This is, for example, the itkallim, and then you will have itkallim. So there is a numbering of each of the verbs, and they are in Arabic alphabetical order, of course. And then there is a bada for to start, and just remember how tricky is to form the active participles for this verb. And then you have here the tabir, xallaS, to finish. Again, a form 3 verb, the sa'id, and then do it again, add. Then as to one. In the case of as, it's in her example only the active participles are used. The is and isa versions, as seen in the bottom of this table. And then fihim, to understand. And the last in the example is qaal, to say. So, my friends, I just highly recommend, if you are in the project of learning Egyptian Arabic, these are the 2 books I highly recommend to start with. Kullu Tamam for grammar, and then the big fat book of Egyptian Arabic verbs.